This is John with the latest on the NFL NFC playoff race as we go into week 5. Calculations are from my free tool at playoffcomputer.appspot.com. Check that out to analyze the standings in your own fantasy football league or just about any type of league. If you want to encourage my behavior here, obsessing about playoff races, there are a couple options on the website. And of course, the internet likes are appreciated, as well as comments, questions, and suggestions. As I mentioned in the AFC edition and last week, I'm tinkering with the format, and I'll keep it brief here and do an expanded podcast available on Spotify and elsewhere, the Playoff Race podcast, if you'd like to hear me for an extended amount of time. Here is the overview of the NFC. 49ers and Eagles at 4-0 leading the way, both around an 80% chance to make the playoffs. 4 teams at 3-1. The Lions and Bucks have a little bit better odds to make the playoffs than the Seahawks and Cowboys, owing to the Lions and Bucks leading their division. They have close to a 2 out of 3 chance, while the Seahawks and Cowboys are at about 60%. 5 teams at 2-2, around 40% odds to make the playoffs. Amongst that group are the Rams, who were the big winners percentage odds-wise for the week. Conversely, the Packers were the big losers with their loss to the Lions. The Falcons, with their 2-1 conference record, have a slight tick above the others, while the Saints, with their 1-2 conference record, and the Commanders, with their lower division chances, are slightly below in the chances. 3 teams at 1-3. The Vikings, with a big win to get on the board, have a 1-4 chance to make the playoffs. With them not being in a division where the leader is 4-0, that gives them a little better odds than the Giants and Cardinals. And at the bottom of the barrel, Bears and Panthers, with the Panthers being at the bottom of the barrel since all their losses have been within the conference, both near the 10% mark to make the playoffs. If they need some good vibes for what it's worth, they still control their own destiny, and there are some scenarios, not very likely, but they exist, where 6 wins gets a wild card. I won't mention there are also some scenarios in which 12 wins misses out. Wait, I'm not mentioning that. Looking at the divisions, starting with the NFC East, the Eagles have that unblemished record, and that gives them a hair above 50-50 odds to win the division. The Cowboys hanging right there, just a game out, currently with a 30% chance to take the division. The Commanders, with that tough loss against the Eagles, now down to a 12% division chance and 39% to make the playoffs. And the Giants, 1-3 with every game played in the conference, just a 6% chance to win the division, and 1-5 to make the playoffs. And I know after watching Monday Night Football, that seems generous. Note that everybody has just played one division game, so things here haven't really heated up yet. The very early estimate for wins the division winner will have is 11, and the projection for wins needed to get a wild card spot is right around 10.5. I'll round up to 11 for now, but 10 is well within the range of reason. Team rankings currently has it finishing actually with the Cowboys on top at 12-5 and the Eagles at 11-6. Thanks to them for letting me use their data, teamrankings.com, if you want to check out their offerings. They have the Commanders and Giants being distantly behind those two. Next up, NFC North. Lions are the talk of the Great Lakes area, 3-1, 1 victory in the division over the Packers, 2-1 conference record, good for a 52% chance to win the division and 65% to make the playoffs. Packers occupying second place by themselves, playing even Steven, 2-2, 1-1 in division. All games have been in the conference, giving them a 1-4 chance to win the division and 42% to make the playoffs. Vikings at 1-3, haven't played an intra-division game yet. 1-2 in the conference, 15% chance to win the division, 1-4 to make the playoffs. The Bears' dumpster fire of a start gives them just a 6% chance to win the division and a whopping 12% to make the playoffs. The early guess for division winning wins is 11. The team rankings projections are for the Lions to romp to the division at 11-6, with the Packers and Vikings ending up at 8-9, which in their projections is actually good enough to tie for a wildcard spot. That is some definite discrepancy between the mathematical only calculation for wins needed for the wild card. We'll see if some more teams get above the pack in the weeks ahead, or if there is a quagmire of moderately okay teams fighting for like the last spot. NFC South, Buccaneers in command with a 3-1 mark. One victory in the division, and all games have been in the NFC, so that gives them a 47% chance to win the division and 65% chance to make the playoffs. Falcons and Saints at 2-2, but the Falcons have a better division record and conference record so far to give them some tiebreaker advantages. 26% to win the division and 43% to make the playoffs for them, and 22% and 39% for the Saints. The Panthers, not much to say, 0-4. 4% chance to pull a miracle, just 8% to make playoffs. Early guess is 12 for division winner, and again 11-ish, maybe 10 for a wildcard spot. Team rankings has it being a three-way race at the end, currently showing the Bucs at 9-8 with the Falcons and Saints right behind at 8-9, with the Panthers ending up at 5-12. Finishing up with the West, 49ers look unstoppable, 4-0, 2-0 in division, 3 of the wins in the conference. All that puts them at a 55% chance to win the division and 80% to make the playoffs. Seahawks hanging with them at 3-1, but that loss to the Rams earlier cuts into their chances to win the division, just 25%, with a 61% chance to make the playoffs. The Rams at 2-2 with even division and conference records have a 12% chance to win the division and 40% to make the playoffs. And the Cardinals, playing perhaps surprisingly well compared to preseason guesses, are still just 1-3 and have but a 5% chance to win the division, 1-5 to make the playoffs. Rough justice guess for division winner is 12 wins, again projected wins for wild card 11, maybe 10. Team rankings projections here are no shock. 49ers winning division at 13-4. Seahawks taking a wild card at 10-7. Rams 8-9 tying for the last wild card spot, and the Cardinals ending at 5-12.